Hi, I'm Steve, and in this video we're going to look at the debugging capabilities of Visual Studio 2017 with Python code when you're running either an entire file or a complete project. Here I have two open projects with some files in them and one start button, which will start debugging when I click on it. We choose the file to start based on which project is the startup file, in this case project 1 because it's bold, and which file within that project is the startup file, in this case module 1. So when we start, you'll see that we're in project 1's module 1. I can change that in Solution Explorer by right-clicking a project and setting that as the startup project, or right-clicking a file and setting that as the startup file. So that now when I hit start, we'll be in project 2, module 2. I can start any file I like at any time by right-clicking it, so I can start with or without debugging, or doing the same inside the file itself, so I don't have to change the settings if I want to run one particular file on its own. If I go to a more interesting demo script here, then we'll be able to see some of the other things that happen while we're debugging. I can set breakpoints at any point in the script by clicking in the margin. You'll see a red dot appears there. These settings allow me to set conditions so that we don't always break, or I can set actions to log a message rather than breaking into the debugger at that point. I can also disable and re-enable the breakpoint with that button. Now when I start running this script, you'll see that we simulate some input, and when we reach the point in the program where that breakpoint is set, it gets interrupted, and now we're in the editor at that point. From here, I can use the mouse to hover over any variables that I like and see their current values, and I can also see in the Autos windows the values of nearby variables. We can see the output of the program so far, and if I bring up the call stack, then we can see a list of the function calls that are currently on the stack. I can use these buttons up here for stepping through the program. Step over, step into, and step out. Or I can use the keyboard shortcuts to keep continuing the program. If I hit F10, we'll continue. You'll see that my guess is 10, the number is 16. I feel like cheating, so I'm going to modify the value to 16 and continue. Now I've fallen into this section of code that is protecting against my cheating by making it impossible to guess on the first go. We're about to go into this loop to choose a new number, but I don't want to do that, I want to win. So we're going to change the next statement by dragging this down here and just skip that bit of code. By moving this marker around, I can set the next statement that's going to execute. And then when I keep stepping, it's going to go through the normal path and we'll get to the end of the program with the result I hoped for, which is I guessed correctly in one guess. Many Python developers love the productivity gains you get from an interactive debugger, and this is only the start of Visual Studio 2017's support for this. Check out docs.microsoft.com/visualstudio/python for more tutorials and videos about debugging your Python code.